Hi, I'm Sydney, and today I'm going to be talking about Longlegs. It's been a beat since I actually saw this in theaters, so I've had a little bit of time to digest it and think about what my thoughts are on the film. Going in to see it, which, by the way, I'm just going to be spoilers. I'm going to assume you've seen the film. In the marketing material, it was said that this is the scariest film of the decade. It was clear, having seen trailers when I went to go see Maxine and stuff, that obvious Silence of the Lambs 90s crime investigation female detective references, but then with a layer of sort of spiritual supernatural horror. So I went in with I try not to have high expectations, but I was excited to see this, and I knew Nicolas Cage was in it. By the end of the film, I went to go see it with my mom. Literally, we looked at each other and just were like, like, I hate to say it because a lot of people in the horror community that I follow loved this film. And this is a very good film. By no means is this a bad film. I just think that it didn't quite hit the correct buttons for me. I did not find this film scary one bit, but I can see how this film would be unsettling or scary for others. It's been widely recognized at this point, but Nicolas Cage's performance I also thought was very well done. But I love Nicolas Cage, but I could just see him. I was like, as much prosthetic and makeup and physical transformation there was, I did still feel like I was watching Nicolas Cage perform. I wasn't totally lost in his performance, if that makes sense. And I think recently, because another movie that I'm going to talk about on here is I saw Leaving Las Vegas recently. I watched Renfield actually not that long ago too. I don't know. I've been consuming a lot of Nicolas. By the way, too, actually, after I left the theater, I went to a restaurant and on the TV that just happened to be playing in there was National Treasure. So I was like, Nicolas Cage is everywhere. I mean, hold on. Those are magnets on my fridge. I like Nicolas Cage a lot, and I will see a movie because he's in it. I haven't seen all of them, but I like him. That's the point. And I think there's always a piece of him. I don't know this, but I wonder in his acting process if he's like Renfield, for example. What if I was Dracula? So it's Nicolas Cage's Dracula. Or what if Nicolas Cage was like, what if I was Leaving Las Vegas, an alcoholic and whatever. And for this, what if I was a glam rock, Satan worshipping psychopath in the 90s? There's always a piece of him in there, and it really shines through. That's not a bad thing because I love his performances, but sometimes, like for this in particular, it distracted me slightly. I still loved his performance though. But because I love him so much, I don't think I was scared of his character. I was surprised when he died when he did in the film. I actually thought he would be more present in the third act. So that was intriguing. But it was quite obvious to me from very early on that the mother was suspicious and involved in some way. I think part of the reason that I maybe didn't totally fall in love with the film is that it just felt like there were so many themes that I've seen before in one way or another. We have the very obvious, so many people have talked about it, but the Silence of the Lambs style to it. The concept of a doll being used in something that feels demonic or as a vehicle for demonic things to be happening or supernatural things to be happening. We've seen it 1,000 times. The doll being in the home, how it would cause the dads to go crazy and kill their families. Again, I just felt like I've seen it before. So I'm like, am I getting to that point in my horror consumption where I'm just so desensitized? Like the moment that I really wanted to be feeling it was the third act when they go to her boss's daughter's birthday. It was very like, I was like, okay, I know exactly what's going to happen, which it happened what I suspected, but not that everything needs to be a surprise either, but it just felt predictable in not a fun way. When they were sitting on the couch and the dad and the mom was like, oh, let's go cut the cake. Yeah. And he's like, I'll be back. We'll be back. And he says to the mom, you won't. And I wanted that moment to feel so tense. And it didn't. I will say, because I love YouTube, I have watched some videos since seeing the film in theaters. I only saw it once, but people doing those Easter egg breakdowns of symbolism and all the times that we see the basically Satan in the shadow of the sort of beast figure, which is also, again, just very kind of predictable. All the times that we see that and we don't even realize it. So I very much appreciate that. A lot of hidden things that actually do make me want to go back and rewatch the film. Because as much as I thought, oh, this movie's predictable, there were a lot of things that I did miss. I think, it's been a minute since I've seen it too, but at the time I remember thinking it didn't really make sense how the mother-daughter became so involved with it. It's been a minute since I saw it, and I'm kind of just spitballing here, so I don't remember names, but basically how they got involved with Longlegs didn't quite check out for me. At the time, I remember thinking, why? First off, it's just a mother and a daughter, so that's different compared to typically what's happening with these sort of traditional families. So why target that? But again, it has to do probably with the kid's age and birth date and that sort of thing. And then, yeah, their circumstances just felt very different than everyone else's, which is maybe like, why was she put in a position where she could beg and negotiate for their lives? But I guess any because it's dealing with sort of the supernatural and the devil and stuff like that, anything could be explained with, for example, the ending left some people feeling kind of with unanswered questions. But I guess the end of it all is just that the devil won, and the whole thing was to get this girl to kill her mom and feel like evil won. So maybe the devil from the beginning chose his family knowing that that was going to be the outcome, or I don't know. With stuff like that, I feel like you can kind of just explain anything away, but I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of talking in circles here and not making sense. In the future, I need to record these videos sooner after I've seen the film so I have a fresher take. I guess my overall thoughts, really good movie, didn't hit the right spot for me. I don't know. I'm hitting a brain wall, so I'll just leave it there. That's what I thought. Let me know what you thought about Longlegs. I'm sure a lot of you loved it. I'll revisit it again eventually. Maybe I'll have different thoughts. But yeah, like why when they did the autopsy of the doll that they found in the attic, there was nothing inside the ball. But then later when the mom shot the doll and the ball released the black entity and then it came out of the girl's head, why wasn't there one in the ball when they opened? I don't know. Yeah, I have questions. But the fact that this movie has left me thinking is good. A lot of horror coming out recently, though. It's really great that I've had so many horror movies that I've been excited to go to the theaters for. So I love that. Let me know what you thought of Longlegs. See you next time. Bye.